say, man, if you do go outside and you stay out past, curfew, and this is what's going to happen, and you need to be consistent and make sure that those are the consequences that do happen if and when they are late. Let's see. One thing that you can do is also encourage and support them. Just that if they're interested in playing softball, man, let them play softball and give them time to enjoy softball, and that might be their outlet and they might be good at it. So that's something that is very, 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 very important. And then also the last thing that I do want to stress, that unfortunately my mom never did, she never took care of herself. Obviously children who are exposed to domestic violence, they aren't taught self-respect, so they don't know how to grow up and take care of themselves, because guess what, their mom or dad just let go and they didn't take care of themselves. They turned to drinking, they turned to smoking, they turned to drugs. They stopped getting ready because they didn't feel worth it. A lot of things that parents don't know, that when they are in a domestic violence household, that if you do let yourself go, your kids will catch on to that, and they will in turn most likely act that way and not take care of themselves. So one other thing that I did love about the article was, actually this was another article, I'm sorry. This was an article that was based out of the University of Massachusetts, and the domestic violence, as far as they did testing on what indicators, what children show the most, or what are the signs of domestic violence in the household through, there's infant, there's school age, there's adult age, things like that that show what the indicators are. So I'm going to start with infants. Whenever infants have frequent illness, which I also reported here, that they have difficulty sleeping, they have excessive diarrhea, and these are things that aren't just like, hey, this week they have diarrhea. They could have just ate something bad. But if it's like excessive, that also shows that they're stressed a lot, and things like that. If they have developmental delays, lack of response to things, also at the preschool age, if they're regressing in their development, like I said before, if they have irritability, fearful of being alone, that is very, very, very important to be looking at. And then they have extreme separation anxiety. And then if they're sympathetic towards their mom or dad, it's usually the victim that they would be sympathetic towards. And then elementary age, if they are acting hostile or they are acting the opposite, like, get me out of here, I don't talk to anybody. If they are verbal about their home life, usually in the elementary school, after my internships and practicums and part of student teaching, I have realized that kids will talk about their home life a lot more than anyone ever suspected. And that at that point, it's very, very important to be calling the child abuse and neglect hotline and contacting your supervisor. In the elementary age, also, we're looking at developmental delays. And then gender role modeling creates conflict and confusion. They might be confused. And then, so there's the pre-adolescence area too. Behavior at this age usually becomes more serious. They have also increased internalized behavior difficulties as far as depression, isolation, and withdrawal, which I have also talked about in the last one. At this age, they also might feel shameful, fearful, they have confusion and rage, and then poor social skills. Usually students at this age, they really want to become involved, but you might be able to tell from these indicators that there might be something going on. And it's better to be aware, not to assume, but to be more knowledgeable on the subject, which is why I'm here. But also, I always say you'd rather be safe than sorry. If you suspect something, then you need to report it, even if that's not the case. That doesn't make you more unreliable, but it does show that you, as an educator or a community leader, that you are aware of situations and how students act, especially if they act out of the norm. If one week they're like so happy, you usually know them as very, very happy, but then all of a sudden the past couple weeks they've been like down, like super tired, leaning their head on their desk, or, just acting in a completely different manner, then that also, it doesn't necessarily mean domestic abuse, but that also means that there are some other issues going on. And so then that brings me to the adolescence, and that's dating relationships. If they start, treating their significant other in a certain way,